Welcome to the final class. Class number 12 is part 2 of the compensation plan. Boy, when you have 2 solid classes on the compensation plan, you know you're dealing with a lot of terminology. Did you learn all the terminology? Did you learn a little bit about Advocare as far as how you get compensated? Well, we're going to dive in a little bit more when we're really teaching the true power of how to get compensated here in Advocare, how you can not only earn income immediately, but also over the longevity of your business as you're impacting people's lives, and how truly powerful our Advocare compensation plan is.
And again, like I said in the last class, I had to watch this over and over and over again because the overrides and the leadership bonuses are what Bob's going to be teaching in this next class. And it's serious stuff. Now, he doesn't necessarily go into the bonus structure that people can get, because we do have a 5th way of getting paid, and that's earning bonuses. And so you can go online and watch about that because we don't get into detail about it. But your rookie advisors have an opportunity to earn pay period bonuses. And so that's something we want you to look into. But really the point of this class is to teach how overrides pay and leadership bonuses. And that's the majority of our paycheck today. In fact, it's when I say majority, I mean like 99% of our paycheck is from overrides and leadership bonuses. And that's also what's available to pay our children's children's children. This is willable to your children, okay, if you set it up legally. So bottom line is, this is an opportunity for you to understand how you can pay long term and really help your family for generations. So let's join Bob.
Now, here's the deal. This is where the percentages are 2 things. One, percentages can be overwhelming and very hard to grasp a hold of. I really believe for you guys it's going to be easy to grasp a hold of. Because really the second part of that is the fact that when you understand these numbers and really the power behind this little box and the income streams you're going to earn from it, it is amazing. It is simply amazing how much, and just in the 3rd way of getting paid for Jenny and I, already this pay period, it's over $15,000 worth of income. In what day is this on our pay period? Day 6 or 5? $15,000 in override? That's a lot of product. It's pretty awesome. And this adds up quickly, okay? So let's get into class 12. And this is where it gets really exciting. And it's going to layer upon each other. And know that a lot of the terminology I'm going to use, you have to refer back to class 11, because I'm going to be saying some terms that if you didn't listen to class 11, you probably wouldn't grasp a hold of. And so you want to make sure you refer back to that class 11, because I'm going to start spouting some terminology that you want to know. The 3rd way we get paid is what's a term called override. Now, override, when you're looking at percentages, sometimes it can be misunderstood. Okay, who am I earning override from? Where are they earning override from? It just starts getting a little bit confusing. Here's a reality with it. Say if you're at 40%, and you're what's called an advisor, and you talk to Billy Bob, and Billy Bob is an advisor. So you're at 40% and Billy Bob's at 40%. Now, can you earn retail profit from Billy Bob? No, why not? Is it 40%? Yeah, okay, you got it. Okay. Now, can I earn wholesale commissions from Billy Bob? Why not? You're the same discount level. So how are we going to earn income based upon Billy Bob? And the powerful thing about this is if Billy Bob was a wholesale customer and he ordered $100 in product, I'm earning money directly from his pocketbook because he's not maximizing his dollar. But if I can no longer earn, directly the amount of money from his orders anymore. Now Advocare goes into another way of earning income, and that's called override and leadership bonuses. You're going to start getting paid from Advocare. What is override and how do you get paid from override? 2 things that are very critical when we're talking about override. One thing you want to pay attention to is your personal group volume. When you're paying attention to your PGV, that's going to be basing what your override factor is. If your PGV is 0 to 499, you're not going to earn any override. That's why we always try to have, understand over time, the PGV is just going to happen. It's going to be a second-hand nature. But just know, if you don't have any volume, you're not going to earn any income. That's why we cannot be categorized as a pyramid scheme. You just can't sit down and collect a check. And that's a beautiful thing. Over time, volume just happens. Now, if your volume is 500 to 749, what is your override factor? 5%. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an override factor, what your percentages is, and then why do we have that percentage, and really, what do you earn from that percentage? What do you multiply it by? Where does the number go? Where does the percentage go? So I'm going to explain the percentages, and then I'm going to show you how to apply that percentage, okay? Now, if you have a volume of a PGV, which we explained what PGV was last class, if your PGV is from 750 to 999, what is your percentage? What is your override factor? 6%. I personally, I don't teach 5%, I don't teach 6%. If you're looking to do the minimum to get the maximum, you might be in the wrong business. I want to try to teach people what you're looking for is getting the maximum override. We always look for getting the maximum. And how do you get the maximum? If your PGV is greater than $1,000, anything greater than $1,000, whether it be our goal, like I said in class 11, our goal was to accumulate $3,000 in volume. If we recruit one advisor, this $1,000 in PGV, you don't even have to make a product order. It could be 5 people ordering $200 in product as wholesale customers. You don't even have to make a product order. You're going to get $1,000 in volume just off of that. So it's not just personal orders. But where does that 7%, which is the override factor, which you want to be focusing on, what is that? Well, if Billy Bob and your PGV is greater than $1,000, everything I'm going to be communicating when it comes to override, leadership bonuses, everything I'm going to be talking about has to deal with the fact that you are accumulating over $1,000 in volume. Everything I'm going to be talking about. So if Billy Bob orders 1 box of M&S, the computer system, there's a barcode here. The computer system swipes the barcode. You have $1,000 of volume. This swipes the barcode. The retail value of this is $42.95. And the retail value is $42.95 for a box of M&S. Well, what's the 7%? What does it do? There's a term you want to know that we talked about in class 11 called business volume. What was business volume? Half of the retail volume. Just again, just a little bit of math. For simplicity, I'm gonna say it's $43. I just want to make it easier on me, okay? So your business volume, $42.95 divided by 2 is equal to, there you go. So we want to know the business volume because that's what we're going to multiply our override. And the fourth way we get paid, which is called leadership bonus, which I'm going to talk about in a bit, that's what we're going to multiply that percentage by. So 7% of $21.95 is equal to, Angela? No, it's good. Yeah, I couldn't do that math in my head anyways. It's equal to $1.50. So every box of M&S that leaves the warehouse in our business is equivalent to 7%, which is $1.50. Now, $1.50 is not a lot of money, is it? But that's the power behind Advocare as a consumable product. People feel it. It's also an instant gratification product a little bit. I mean, people feel the energy from it immediately. The point is that every time the barcode swipes this by, boom, you earn $1.50. And now it's not always that simple, but I'm just telling you as far as that's how override is calculated. Now, one thing when we're talking about override is we have a term that is paid on the 3 pay levels. Now, this is where Jenny and I, when we first got started in this business, when I heard 3 pay levels, I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Before I explain this, if you just have a mentality that you're looking to help people out and help them earn income, and this is where the override is so great. If you help other people win, your override is going to be coming. If you just have one mentality to help people out and impact them, help them earn income, help them earn wholesale commissions, help them earn retail profit, help them earn override, you're going to start earning override. You're going to start winning. Jen and I, we were at the Ruby level which we'll talk about. This is obviously Ruby Boot Camp. We were at the Ruby level before we even understood what override was, what our override was, or what, I mean, any of those terms, we didn't get it. And I actually had to figure it out when I got called and said, congratulations, this is before the computer system obviously was figured out. We didn't have a computer system. We didn't know what we got paid until we got our paycheck in the mail 3 weeks later. And we got our override, and we said, congratulations, you got Ruby. And I was like, Ruby? I don't know what that is. And so Jenny asked me, she goes, Bob, figure it out. So I sat down with the policies and procedures and tried to figure out, okay, A, what is Ruby? B, how much are we going to get paid? I didn't know any of this stuff. And we got to Ruby. And the reason why? Because we had one focus. Help others win. That's how you do this business. So whether you know this is $1.50 or you think it's $10.50, the override is $1.50. It's not $10.50. But I'm just telling you that when I talk about 3 pay levels, it's irrelevant if you just help people win. So what is a pay level? I don't understand what this... Now we're throwing in another term called pay level. What a pay level constitutes, if the volume of a level exceeds $500 in volume, they're considered a pay level. In this illustration, these numbers, all that they represent is people taking products. They represent people taking products, retail customers, wholesale customers, volume being created. And every single one of these people, even though they are all at advisor, Bob, Lydia, Jan, Jenny, and Betty, they're all advisors, not wholesale customers just taking products at a discount. They're all at 40%. Now, if they're all at 40% and they're all advisors, if they don't reach that $500 in volume, they're not considered a working level. Okay? Now, the cool thing about this, even though they're not considered a working level or a pay level, you're still going to earn override from it. I have Jan here, and Jan, sometimes the focus is helping Jan out, and we want to help Jan because Jan's on our 3rd pay level. That's what you're thinking as far as pay levels. So Jan's on our 3rd pay level, and we have Betty down here. And Betty's creating $10,000 in volume, but you're looking at Jan and say, well, Jan's on my 3rd pay level. Betty, I'd love to help you out, but I really can't. But Betty's the one that's producing. And the reality with this is that Jan is not even in a pay level, and the reason why is because her PGV is not exceeding $500. This keeps you a focus on not looking at levels, not trying to figure. This is a pay plan you cannot manipulate, fix, or any of that stuff. It's you basically help people out who want the help. And right now in this illustration, Betty's obviously a lot of the volume that's being created here. Now, is Lydia considered a pay level? Yes. Yes. Why is that? She has over $500 of PGV, so she's considered a pay level. Jan, she considered a pay level? No. No, she's not a pay level. Is Jenny considered a pay level? No. Why? Exactly right. She doesn't have $500 of volume. We're not really focusing on Jan and Jenny. I mean, we love them. They're taking products. We're obviously following up with that. We're focused on this. So basically, Bob is the 1st pay level, Lydia is a 2nd pay level, and Betty is a 3rd pay level. So even if Betty's on the 5th level, Betty creating all that volume, she's still considered a pay level. Isn't that beautiful? That even though that, from Betty down, the 4th, 5th, 6th, you're not getting override from that organization. But on the 3rd pay level, Betty, you're earning that override. In this illustration, when I was talking about the first step is what? Retail volume, PGV, retail volume. Retail volume. And then after you figure out the retail volume, what did you do? To do why? Why are you doing that? To get business volume, exactly right. So you're dividing that by 2. And when you divide that by 2, what did you multiply it by? Whatever your override factor was. So multiply that times either 5 all the way up to 7% override factor. That's how you figure out override. Does anybody feel like they're back in high school, like math? They're like, stop throwing calculations at me. I was done with school 10 years ago, Bob, or 20 years ago, or 30 years ago. But that's the override calculations. Again, it's the first step, second step. Because I know when you look at override, I remember Jenny and I's first training, and we were, like 3 weeks, a month into Advocare, maybe a little bit longer than that, maybe a couple months into Advocare. And our first Saturday morning training was us, one of our great friends, Chad Mary Williams, and Jenny's mom and stepdad, David and Debbie Lenahan. And we're all sitting down there. Were we training on purpose? Were we training on how to talk to people? Were we training on the success system? No. We argued for an hour of how override worked. We're like, no, it skips a level and it goes down the second level, and then we're trying to figure it out. And really, it's irrelevant. The computer system figures it out for you. You just got to help people out. But some of you got to understand it's really how the money works here in Advocare. Because if you understand the power behind the money, if people don't understand levels, what they'll do is they'll camp out on Jan here. And Jan, even though she's taking a 24-day challenge every month, she's creating a little bit of volume. It's not necessarily about Jan. It may be about Betty, helping Betty out. So it's not just about levels. It's about pay levels and really who's moving forward. And if you help people moving forward, you'll build your override. How are we going to figure out how much override we're going to be earning from this illustration? 3 pay levels. How is the override going to be calculated? Again, going back to what we just talked about, how is override calculated? The retail value of the product, which in this example, so 3,000 plus 500, 3,500, plus 200, 3,700, plus 300 is 4,000. Don't start thinking the next step. I'm just talking, this is just simple math. So 4,000 plus 10,000 is? 14,000. Exactly right. Okay, so now we got what's called total volume, PGV, right? Now, we multiply that by 7%? No. Well, why not? We got to cut it in half. We got to figure out the business volume, right?
Right.
So don't think about the next step. Don't think about leadership bonus. Just think about, okay, just simple business volume. That's all we got to. So just approximately divided by 2. So we got to figure out the business volume, which is exactly right. You're getting it. You're getting it. Because sometimes here's the key with these percentages. We're thinking about the third, the fourth, the fifth step, and we don't need to think about that. Think about the first step first, the second step next. Just figure out the total volume. After you figure out the total volume, divide that by 2, which gets your business volume. And now that we have the business volume, do we multiply 7% times 14,000? Do we multiply 7% times 10,000? No. Do we multiply 7% times, or 5%, or 7%, or 9%? No. You just don't complicate it. Multiply 7% times 7,000, which is? $490. I know, it's... So in this case, and just in this, you're earning $490 worth of override in your 3 pay levels. Now, what if Betty, just give you a hypothetical, just to help you understand as far as working levels and override. What if Betty has this famous character called Billy Bob, and Billy Bob does $15,000 in volume? How do we figure out override from Billy Bob? Why not? Exactly. Exactly. Now, I really believe if Billy Bob is doing 15 and Betty's doing 10, most likely Betty's a doer. But you're going to be helping Betty out through leadership and stuff like that. But you're not going to earn, as far as just figuring out the override calculations, you're not going to be earning override from Billy Bob. So if I'm looking at this example and you earning $490 in override, let's break out some other people as far as how much they're earning in override, okay? So let's look at Jan. Jan has $200 in volume. How much override is Jan earning? Why? Now, what's Lydia earning in override? First of all, let's go back. What is Lydia's override percentage? Exactly right. You're exactly right. It's 5. Why is it 5%? Exactly, because it's $500 of volume. Now, if she had $1,000, what would her override factor be? Exactly. So if you're looking at this and she has an override factor of 5%, how much override is Lydia earning? Jan, remember, override is just the volume, sheer PGV. Let's do that first, okay? Don't think about step 4 or 5 yet. All right? Think about the first step. What's the first step? Total up the volume. So what's Jan's volume? 200. What's Jenny's volume? Jenny's got to get to work. It's my wife's name, So 200 plus 300, 500 plus Betty, 10,000. So it's 10,000. What's that? Billy Bob's 15. Yeah, that would be awesome, but that's not the case. I subtracted Billy Bob. So Lydia, even though her override factor is 5%, $10,500 in total volume, how do we figure out the override from that? Do we multiply 5% times 10,500? No. Divided by 2, right? So it's 5,250. Is that right? I think it's right. It is equal to the business volume. We multiply 5% times 10,000? No, it's 5% times 5250. You know who's got that in their head? I don't even have that. I don't have that in my head. It's $262.50. Now, wonder if Lydia's volume was $1,000. What would her override factor be? 7%. Now, that would go from $262.50 to all the way up to $367.50, just for a little bit extra volume. Her override would be increasing, plus leadership, exactly right, which we're going to be talking about. But that's the override calculations. Again, it's the first step, second step, because I know when you look at override, I remember Jenny and I's first training, and we were, like 3 weeks, a month into Advocare, maybe a little bit longer than, maybe a couple months into Advocare. And our first Saturday morning training was us, one of our great friends, Chad and Mary Williams, and Jenny's mom and stepdad, David and Debbie Linehan. And we're all sitting down there. Were we training on purpose? Were we training on how to talk to people? Were we training on the success system? No. We argued for an hour of how override worked. We're like, no, it skips a level and it goes down the second level, and then we're trying to figure it out. And really, it's irrelevant. The computer system figures it out for you. You just got to help people out. But some of you got to understand it's really how the money works here in Advocare. Because if you understand the power behind the money, if people don't understand levels, what they'll do is they'll camp out on Jan here. And Jan, even though she's taking a 24-day challenge every month, she's creating a little bit of volume. It's not necessarily about Jan. It may be about Betty, helping Betty out. So it's not just about levels. It's about pay levels and really who's moving forward. And if you help people moving forward, you'll build your override. So let's go through another example. This is exciting. I'm telling you. Let's figure out the override from this. Now, mind you, you have $1,000 in volume. Okay, you got that. Now, first step. What's the first step? What the retail volume is. So let's add that up. Bob has $3,000 in product. First of all, there's not even 3 levels, so you're getting paid on everything. Bob has $3,000 in volume. Esther is an advisor as well. Esther does $500 in volume. Frank is an advisor as well. Frank has $500 in volume. Total in this organization, you have $4,000 worth of volume. Add that to $1,500. Jackie is an advisor as well. So Jackie has $1,500 in volume. So 4,000 plus 1,500 is 5,500. And Sam over here is also an advisor. So Sam's at 40%. You can't earn wholesale commissions. You can't earn retail profits. You're going to be an override. Another 500. Total retail volume is? 6,000. Exactly. You got it. 6,000. What do we do with that 6,000? Why? It's business volume. Exactly. We need the business volume to figure out override. We not only need the business volume to figure out override, we need the business volume to figure out the next step as far as figuring out leadership bonuses. So in this case, you have $1,000 of volume. What is your override factor? 7%. Exactly, 7%. In this case, 6,000 divided by 2 is 3,000. 3,000 times 7% is $210. That's how much override you are earning from this. So in this example, 210. Now, what if you only had like $500 in volume? Well, actually, what if I had $699 in volume? What's my override factor? 6%. It's 5%. Because it's below 750, above 500. Okay, so you getting that? All right, good. And if that was the case, how much money would I earn? Exactly right. Here you go, Sam. Well done. Okay, good deal. Override over time And as you impact more lives, you help other people out. That's why Advocare's compensation plan is a leadership compensation plan, not a manipulation compensation plan. Or you hear terms out there, well, how do you get paid here in Advocare? And how your answer and your response is not going into the 5 ways you get paid. You just simply say, you know what, in Advocare, we get paid based upon leadership. The more lives you've impacted over time, you will earn more money. That's how we get paid in Advocare. So Advocare is a leadership compensation plan. And the reason why, the more people you help, over time, it'll increase. First 3 months in Advocare, our accumulation of volume, we're having an override of about $1,000. So it's pretty significant in 3 months. We're just helping people win, all right? So how does the 4th way we get paid, how does that pan out? It's called leadership compensation or leadership bonuses. And it is a bonus that goes above and beyond what our base pay is, which is override. Leadership bonuses basically constitutes a couple different things. How much volume is being created in your business? That's the first thing. And the second thing is how many legs you're building. Now, what is a leg? That's an Advocare. If there's any Advocare terminology, that's an Advocare term. I don't even know how you constitute, what a leg even is. What a leg is, say you have 3 separate advisors. I'm not going to give them names, but I'm kind of break it down as far as help you show you what really a leg is. And you personally recruited this advisor. Anything that happens, helping that person out is called a leg. It's called a leg of business. Person number 2, anything you've helped with person number 2 is considered a leg. Now person number 3, whatever you help build with person number 3 is considered a leg. Do you combine these 2 volumes and create a leg? No, they're separate. They'll always be separate. They're never combined. And so those are the 2 factors you want to be looking at when we're talking about leadership bonuses. And I'm going to break down as far as what the percentages are of the leadership bonus. Because when you hear people say, well, I'm diamond, really, what is that? Again, it's a reflection upon volume, how many lives you're impacting, and how many separate organizations you're mentoring through that process. That's what constitutes a leadership bonus. So the more organizations you're helping, guess what? The higher leadership bonuses. All good? So what are the leadership bonuses? And don't overcomplicate this either. Now let's get into leadership bonuses and really where the percentages come from and really where the percentage going. You know, when I talk about percentages, when I say 3%, 2%, quarter percent, all that these percentages are, it's just like an override. It's above and beyond that 7% of override. What did we multiply that 7% times? Business volume. Exactly, you got it. So what's business volume? Half the retail volume. So when we're talking about percentages from leadership bonuses, that's just above and beyond what we're earning from our override. So when I say 3%, what does 3% mean? Multiply 3% times business volume, exactly. Silver, which is the first leadership level. Silver is an extra 3%. It's a 3% bonus. It's the highest. The first leadership level is the highest bonus you're going to achieve in Advocare besides Diamond. It's the first leadership level is 3%. In order to get 3%, how much override do you need to get 3%? $100 in override. So that's the first factor. Again, what are the factors that get leadership bonuses? Override, which is resulting in retail value, business volume. So to get $100 in override, how do we get $100 in override? It's $3,000 roughly volume. Why do you know it's $3,000? I mean, do you have some type of magical ball? Why do you know that, Jim? That's true that. Okay, so $3,000 in volume, retail volume, divided by 2, which is, multiply that times what? 7% is equal to? Y'all got it. Y'all got it. You picking up what I'm putting down here? $105. So did I exceed the minimum volume requirements of the override factor to get a silver bonus? Yes, you did. Now, how many separate legs do I need to get silver? Well, you need 1, or you need 10, or I mean, it's just, you don't need any star leg. Now, when I use the term star leg or separate legs, what I mean by a star leg is that we're going back to this, what I already drew out when I was explaining leg. When I'm helping person number 1, and I'm helping person number 2, and I'm helping person number 3, when I'm figuring out leadership bonuses, we have what's called like gold 3-star. What 3-star means is that means it's to start 3-star legs. How do you get a star leg? Basically, any volume is taking place in leg 1 within 3 pay levels, the override. If this exceeds total $100 in override, that's considered a star leg. Now, if number 2, if they do $2,000 in volume, hypothetically, person number 2, in this whole organization, they do $2,000 in volume. How much override is that? 2,000 divided by 2 is equal to 1,000. 1,000 times our override factor is equal to what? $70. Is that considered a star leg then? No, exactly. You got it. So when you have those star legs, you know exactly when you hear gold 3-star, what does 3-star legs mean? You know that in an organization you have to at least create $3,000 in total volume or over $100 in override to get a star leg. In silver, you don't need any star legs. You don't need any legs representing over, you just need volume taking place in your business. And that's how you get a silver bonus. And gold, which is an extra 2% increase in pay, how much override do you need to earn gold? $500. What does that equal to as far as volume goes? 15,000, exactly right. You got it. Gold 3-star, it's not only another 2% increase, you need $500 in override, but also since it says 3-star, you need at least 3-star legs. At least. To get gold 3-star, to get another 2%. So even just building 3 separate organizations, you're going to earn an extra 7%. You basically doubled your money from override. Because you earn 7% in override already. So you're going to earn another 7% because it's 3. It's not just 2%, right? It's 2 plus 3, which is equal to 5. And then also another 2%, and add another 2, which is total 7%. As you develop the leadership legs, as you develop your leadership level, it just adds more percentages. It's not like Diamond only gets 4% of their entire organization. It's 4 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus sick money plus 3. I mean, that's why when you hear the Diamond income, that's amazing as far as how much, because the reason why is all those percentages added up over time. When you have that much override taking place, I mean, that's where the income's earning in. Now, Ruby, which this is Ruby Boot Camp, is another 2%. So total in leadership bonuses from silver to ruby, how much leadership bonuses you're earning? What are we multiplying that 9% by? Business volume, exactly right. How much override does it take to get to ruby? $1,000. How many star legs? 3, exactly. Now jump into ruby 6-star. And once you understand the terms, once you understand what a star leg, once you understand how much override is, you just can kind of figure it out. I mean, Ruby 6-star is an extra 2% increase, a pay increase. How much override do I need, just based upon what I heard from Ruby? Exactly right. Exactly right. How many star legs do I need?
6.
How do you know that? There you go. See, I mean, when you start hearing those words, you're like, well, what does Ruby 6-star mean? What do I need to do that? Well, rather than this, you need 3 more. Emerald, 2%. How much override do you need to get to Emerald? $2,000. How many star legs? 6 star legs. Emerald 9-star. There's another 2%. How much override? $2,000 in override. How many legs? Star legs? 9. Diamond. is an extra 4%. How much override do you need to get to diamond? 4,000. Diamond, on top of that, you need 12 star legs. Platinum is another 0.25%. Platinum is $8,000 in override and 18 star legs. And then double diamond is another 0.25%. 16,000. No, it's 12,000, excuse me. And 24 star legs. Now, when I first saw this, I'm going to be honest with you. I was like, I don't. That's why whenever we talk about Ruby, the reason why this is so powerful as far as you being here in Ruby Boot Camp is once you learn how to build a Ruby, and you have 3-star legs, we work in multiples of 3. We work in multiples of 1,000. We work in as far as duplicating your business or basically doubling your business to get the next pay level, next pay increase. The powerful thing about Advocare, as you continue to increase star legs, Diamond, that's a huge pay increase over time. And as you add more percentages, obviously you're going to be earning income. Leadership bonuses, there is no such thing as working pay levels. Leadership bonuses goes to infinity. Goes to 20 levels, 30 levels deep, if that's how deep you want to go. If you want to continue digging, it's just all the way to infinity, actually until the next leadership level. Like Michael and Christine being diamond, we don't receive diamond leadership bonuses from Michael and Christine's organization. We help them get to diamond. We no longer earn any leadership bonuses from that group, but we earn an override from that group. So understand, if you help other people win, they're just not going to earn leadership bonuses. Which for me was irrelevant. I mean, it wasn't about that. So now let's draw a real example of how this works. So we're building this organization right here, and we're gonna break down as far as what the override is, what the leadership bonuses is, etc. So we're talking about override again. What do we figure out on the front end? How much retail volume it is. 3,000 for Bob. Esther has 500. Frank has 500. So it's 500. 4,000. Add 4,000 against working pay levels. Do we have 3 pay levels here? Yes, we do, and we're figuring out the retail volume. So we have 4,000 here. Jan, $1,500. So I add 4,000 plus 1,500, which is 5,500. 5,500 plus Sam's 500 is 6,000, plus another 1,000 here is $7,000 in total volume. What do I do with that $7,000 in total volume? Divide it by 2 to figure out business volume, right? So how much business volume is it? $3,500. Now with that $3,500, based upon my volume, is $1,000. What do I multiply it by? 7%. If I multiply it by 7%, my override for this organization is $245. Based upon my previous chart, what do I multiply? Not only I have an override, I need to figure out the leadership bonuses. Well, what is my leadership bonuses? Do I have, to the first leadership level, which is silver, do I have $100 worth of override? Yes. Yes, I do. So guess what? I earned a bonus. Pretty cool, huh? So how much did I earn for silver? 3%, exactly. On top of that, so what do I multiply the 3% by? No. Exactly right. I multiply the 3% times the business volume, which is $3,500 in this example. So 3% times $3,500 is $105. The business volume is $3,500. Now, in order to get to gold, how much override do we need? $500. Okay. So not there yet. Got to, it's going to be over time, and obviously you can start earning override. Now, just for theoretical purposes, how many star legs do we have here? One. How do you know that? And who's a star leg? Bob's a star leg. And why is that? Because Bob has over $100 in override in this organization. Now, why isn't Jan a star leg? She doesn't have the override. Now what are the names of my legs that I have here represented? Sam, Jan, Bob. I have 3 legs. Okay? So what I'm trying to do now, as far as gaining in leadership level in Ruby, I'm working in multiples of 3. So if I help Jan win, if I help Sam win, over time, they would be considered a star leg. All right? So that's why over time, the override increases, and over time we have more star lakes. Now this is where the larger organization comes. And this is what we're going to finish up on. So we have person number 1, and I'm helping 3 separate organizations build this, and I happen to have a 4th one I am working on. But they're not necessarily considered a star leg yet, but I'm working on them. So in this organization, I not only went through Ruby Boot Camp, I'm helping somebody else go through Ruby Boot Camp. I'm helping them build the business, and I'm saying, okay, here's the deal, person number 1. You're looking for 3 people that you're looking to lock arms with and build this business. And if you work in multiples of 3, it's amazing how quickly this math is going to add up. So I'm helping person number 1 build a team of 3. Not only that, since I said that to person number 1, it's amazing how my terms or things that I say, how this next person is going to say the exact same thing. And basically what they're doing is, okay, here's the deal, person number 1, is you're looking to impact people's lives. You're looking for 3 people to lock arms with and start moving this product with. So you're helping this person build a team of 3. Now, this illustration, it will never be this picture perfect. Isn't that right? It's never going to be this pretty. So it's just a matter of, okay, who's moving forward. But just for simple terms, I'm just making it easier as far as making it look. This person also has a team of 3 people. This person has a team of 3 people. The same thing goes with person number 2. I'm looking to build what's considered a block of business, helping him find 3 people. And again, person number 1 finds 3 people. Person number 2 finds 3 people. 3 people, and 3. The powerful thing about this, the way that we get compensated here, is you're right here and you're earning income. The reality is this person down here can earn more money than you if he so chooses to, based upon leadership level, based upon how many people they're impacting, the volume, etc. So it's really, even though this, when people say, is this a pyramid scheme? That looks awful like a pyramid scheme. But the reality with it, if you apply it to what you do on a daily basis anyways, if this happens to be the CEO, and these are the vice presidents, this is vice president of marketing, this is this is the VP of finance, or the CFO, and this person is the CIO, and it works the exact same way in corporate America. So I'm just drawing an illustration of the fact that this is what a Ruby organization, a blueprint looks like. Why is it considered a Ruby blueprint? It's basically each one of these people is rolling about $1,000, just for illustration purposes, $1,000 worth of PGV every single 2 weeks. And it goes throughout the entire organization. And this person number 4 just happens to be a consumer, and he's also doing $1,000 of PGV. So on the first level alone, how much volume is added up throughout this first level? So we're going to start separating levels now. How much volume is taking place right here? 4,000, exactly right. In this level, how much volume is taking place? 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9. Each person doing $1,000 of PGV is 9,000. And right here, we have 3 plus 3 plus 3, 9 people in each of the organization. 9 times 3 is 27. So we have 27 people doing $1,000 in volume, which is equal to $27,000. So in order to figure out override, how do we figure out override? We have a bunch of numbers. We have a bunch of circles. How's the override fact? How's it figured out? Total volume, exactly. 4,000 plus 9,000 is 13,000 plus 27,000 is $40,000. That's amazing how it just came out even like that. And it always happens that way. So in order to figure out the override, I'm basing this upon I have $1,000 of PGV. Okay, anyways. What do I multiply? Do I multiply 7% times this? No. Why? We divide it by 2, okay, to figure out the business volume. That's a calculation. I'm going to set this number aside because this is a number we're going to base everything on from this point forth. We're going to base our leadership bonus, we're going to base our override, and all the percentage that we're going to be earning. So we're going to divide this to figure out our business volume. In this example, our business volume is equal to $20,000 worth of BV. So what, based upon that BV, what's our override? 1,400. So we have override. So every single 2 weeks, we're earning a minimum of $1,400 in override. Okay, first leadership level. You need how much override is with silver? We need $100 in override in order to get to silver. Do we have $100 in override? Yes. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to earn an extra 3%. What are we going to multiply that 3% times? $20,000. The $20,000, exactly. So the first leadership level, silver, we're going to earn an extra $600. Now gold, how much override do we need to earn gold? Do we have over $500? Good. We're going to earn another $400 worth of leadership bonuses. Another 2% times 20,000, which is equal to $400. Now gold 3-star. How much override do we need for gold 3-star? Okay, what is 3-star? What does that mean? 3-star. 3-star legs. Do we have 3-star legs? We separate each of the legs. Do we have over $3,000 in volume taking place, or $100? Yes. 2? Yeah. 3? Okay. No, number 4 is just out there. Anyways. But we're still using them as far as the calculation goes. So gold 3-star is an extra 2%. 2% times 20,000 is equal to? Ruby Boot Camp, ERS. How much volume, how much override do we need to earn Ruby? Do we have over 1,000? Feels like Groundhog Day. Yes, we have over $1,000, but I'm just telling you, it becomes redundant, but you need to understand it. Ruby. Now, how many star legs do we need to get to Ruby? 3. 3. Do we have that? Yes. Yes. So we multiplied another 2% to equal another $400. Next leadership level. Ruby 6-star. Do we have over $1,000 in override? Yes. Do we have 6-star legs? No. So what's the incentive as far as earning 3 more legs? Is to get the next leadership level. So we don't have that, so it stops right there. Now override is $1,400. How much leadership bonus are we earning on this based upon this illustration? 600 plus 400, 1,000 plus another 400, 1,400 plus another 400 is $1,800. Okay? So total, we add 1,400 times 1,800 every single 2 weeks. We're earning $3,200, our paycheck is, without including override, without including wholesale commissions, without including retail profit. That's how much we're earning, $3,200 every single 2 weeks. How many people want an extra $3,200 every single 2 weeks? What does that equal per month? How do you know? Because there's 4 weeks in a month, huh? I'm just, sometimes it's 5 weeks. But I'm just saying, 3,200 times 2 is $6,400. Every single month you're earning, based upon this illustration, then obviously per year, that's where we come up with $76,800 on average per year based upon this business. If you just think about it, just hypothetically, when we're talking about building to Ruby, say if you just focus on the first year, the first 12 months of your business, and you focus on one person, helping them get success, and you build one side, one of the 3 of the legs your first year. Some people think when they go through a boot camp and they have 14 people over a 6-week time frame, they're a little bit frustrated with themselves. But the way I'm looking at it is, if I can just help one person over a full calendar year, that's a significant income. You're just helping this one person out. Now, the second year, what if I decided to, I found that first person, I helped them out, I'm going to help that second person out. So the next calendar year, you find the second person. And the third calendar year, so in 3 years in this business, you decide to find the third person. And your extra income is $76,800 per year after 3 years of effort. Is it worth it? Yes. See, what we tend doing is we want to build this in 2 months. We want to build this over a 6-week time frame. But the purpose of the Ruby Boot Camp is not to build it over a 6-week time frame. The purpose of the Ruby Boot Camp is to develop the concepts so you can build this over a length of time. Whether it takes you 3 months like Jenny and I, whether it takes you a year, whether it takes you 5 years. Is it worth 5 years of effort to earn $76,800 extra per year? I spent 5 years of my life in college for a starting salary of $36,500 a year. And I've invest 5 years to earn $36,500? And in Advocare, what if you did this? Every year for a 12 years time frame, you build a new star leg every year for 12 years. Is it worth investing 12 years of your life to earn, on average, an extra $650,000 of income per year? Is it worth it? Guys, is it worth it? Yes. And that's the biggest thing you want to be thinking about when you're building this business. It has nothing to do with it has everything to do with the percentages, but don't complicate what you're trying to do here. Understand the Ruby Boot Camp, the design of it is to give you a boot camp, basically a launching pad to start building this business. And whether it takes you 3 years to do this, 5 years to do this, but the amount of income it takes, or the amount of income you're earning, so don't get frustrated in the 6-week time frame. Don't get frustrated with the 8-week time frame. That's why I say it's a 3 to 5 year commitment. And when you build it 3 to 5 years and you build this business the right way, impacting people's lives, and you get that type of percentages as a result, and not only that, it's a consumable product that people actually enjoy, that you don't have to convince them, sell them, manipulate them to continue to buying Advocare products. Not only that, people over a 10-year time frame may want nothing to do with the business, but over 10 years are continuing to take Advocare products. Isn't that powerful what we do have? So don't get lost. Don't get lost in all the little details. Start impacting some people's lives. And over time, it may take, like I said, 3 years. If it takes 3 years, is it worth it? You guys are awesome. Thank you for listening.
You have made it through the 12 classes. You should be so proud of yourselves. If you went through all the classes, you went through the workshops, you did the homework, you got some points on the board, hopefully more points than less, guess what? You are on your way to success. Wherever you are today, sometimes we get kind of critical about ourselves and say, oh, I wish I could have done more. We all wish we could have done more. If you're a champion, you always feel like there's more to do. But this is what I want you to evaluate. Look back to class number 1. Where were you emotionally? How much did you understand? And now where are you today? I bet you've grown a ton. And you know what? This is the beginning. It's not the end of Ruby Boot Camp. This is the beginning. Take courage, move forward, help other people make a ton of money, and let's see if your dreams don't come to pass. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing.